biggest lessons in my life was exposure therapy, when my therapist asked me to rate a list of actions on a scale from 1 to 10 based on how much they scared me. Making eye contact was maybe a 2. Starting a conversation with a stranger, a 4 or 5. Disagreeing with someone, a 7. Then she forced me to do them. Starting from the 1s and 2s, I would repeatedly have to do what made me anxious. So, why did my therapist make me do this? There have been times where I've buried my head in my hands for minutes afterward, mildly horrified at what I had just done. One of these exposures was standing in front of a TV for 30 seconds. Standing in front of a TV for 30 seconds is pretty awkward. I'm just standing there, like 1, 2, 3, and the people who had been trying to watch said TV are like, "Fancy seeing you here. Now, could you please move?" Of course, I say no, and get to check off successfully disagreeing with someone. Yeah, over these years, I'm proud to say I've become quite adept at being a jerk. But why actually did my therapist make me do this? First, there were definitely moments where these exposures have made my life more fun, letting me talk to people and make friends with people I otherwise would have been too scared to talk to. It let me experience conversations go surprisingly well. More importantly, though, was what happened regardless of the outcome. After constant exposure, the anxiety, the embarrassment, the fear all become just another emotion. Fear is a part of our biology, trying its best to protect us. But what it doesn't know is that in today's world, judgment isn't a death sentence anymore. Even when things went exactly as awkward as my worst expectations, I found I was always all right. Throwing myself into fear after fear, exposure therapy had been training me to recognize this. Someday, I may need this training. Because while I would like to think I would stand up to wrongdoing if I saw it in front of me, this probably isn't the case. In history, many ordinary people have watched atrocities like slave owning and Japanese internment happen. The majority of these people have done and will do nothing. When it comes down to it, there's this thing called the bystander effect. Being told that I'm most certainly going to let awful things happen, and that I statistically can't do anything about it, this upsets me, because it's right. If I'm not even willing to risk judgment today, then I will fail to face the higher stakes when it matters more. The more I think about it in this context, the more irrational the fear of judgment becomes in my everyday life. It's harmless. Let's say I did offer help. Let's say they say no, they don't need it. Let's even say they laugh at me, asking why they would ever want help from me. Which is a bit much, but the more I think about it, the more it doesn't matter. There are things I value more than judgment, like being someone who tries to help, and with good intentions, let people judge even if they will. Suddenly, I have a fighting chance, and I take it. In this, facing fears in my daily life becomes not only useful, but necessary. So what I've learned from all this is that facing a fear isn't just one moment, even though it may feel like it. The moment you have to act is like a pop quiz. In that single terrifying moment, you get one chance to pull through. Pass or fail, stand up or stand by. It's a matter of do or don't. But the chance that you do is much stronger if you are prepared than if you go in blindly, just hoping for the best. If I let the bystander effect take me off guard, I don't stand a chance. So what I've learned from all this is to do the homework. Even though it's been years since I've last seen my therapist, exposure therapy is just a name-brand way of saying face your fears. I can still assign myself exposures, and I write them down in my planner. Today, I will raise my hand in class 5 times, reach out to someone I haven't talked to in a while, 1 month ago, I told myself I would at least apply to speak here today. In the end, I don't know whether or not to do a call to action. Like, this TED Talk is sponsored by Exposure Therapy, or shout out to my therapist Amberly. Go check her out. I don't know if it would do anything, so I'll leave it at this. The bystander effect tells you you can't change anything. It says, don't you dare try. And if you're anything like me, in these minutes you've listened, I don't think you want to be told what to do either. Thank you.